arming the National Guard in DC is meant to scare you. Okay? They armed them in LA, but there was no ammunition in the guns. They had ammunition, but nothing was loaded. They just wanted to show a sign of strength. That's what Trump and Pete Hegseth are all about, is just trying to make people feel like they are in control. So I don't know whether they'll be loaded or not. I'm guessing it will probably be similar to LA. But is all of this legal? Yes. Is it anything to freak out about? No. Is it something to pay attention to? Yes, just like everything is. But notice he's bringing in National Guard from red states. And I think that's funny because he doesn't have the huevos to ask a blue state to send them. Because someone like Wes Moore already said, try it and you can go F yourself because I won't send any to you. And then what would Trump do? He'd actually have to do something. He would be embarrassed. So right now he's just having all his little minions play along. And now he's just going to go to Chicago and New York because all the black ladies are saying, please, Mr. Trump, save us, which is absolute bullshit. And we know this. And so I know part of you, well, some of you get really angry about the National Guard. They need to do something. What are they going to do? The morale is very low. The phone calls coming in saying, we don't want to do this is affecting my mental health, is going up and up and up. But they have not been asked to do anything immoral. Now, if they're sitting out there and they're saying, you take those weapons and you fire on people, yeah, then they can say no to that. But being sent somewhere or being told to carry something that they already usually do, that's not illegal. That may frustrate you, but that's just the way it is. And that's not something they can just say no to. That's like showing up for your work going, no, I'm not going to do any of this. Okay, then you're fired. But for them, it would be different. It wouldn't just be, oh, you're fired. You get in trouble. And again, a lot of them don't want to be there. The military does not like them. But that doesn't mean the military is going to just turn their weapons on the government. That's not how this works. That would be a military coup. And some of you seem to think, yeah, that's what we want. That's not going to happen. They're not going to have a military coup. And countries that have military coups end up in decades-long war of just limbo. And that's not even being in a country where everyone's armed. So I would rather us try and work through this process, as frustrating as it is, and keep pushing back and shutting them down every way we can. But you don't want a military coup the way you imagine or fantasize that you do. Because people keep saying, when are they going to do something? They are doing something. They're doing their job. And if it comes down to it, most have said, and this is over 90%, and I would think more, said they would say no to an immoral act. They don't even like to fire on people in other countries, let alone where they live, where their friends and family live, where they have to continue to live. I think some of you get into this fantasy land of, I don't know, apocalyptic, where everyone, that's not reality. The other thing I want to say about this is, okay, let's say, let me tell you how badly they don't want to do this. Let's say they send them all into New York. Let's say they send them all into Chicago, and they're in DC. Did you see that little scene where there was a couple, or I don't know, however many, I don't know if they were ICE or who they were, but they were in that street with those apartments and they were getting booed and yelled at, and the guy threw a Subway sandwich at him. Can you imagine? So they could have just taken that group out right there, because insurgencies don't work. And that scene right there shows you, like, they could have literally just taken them out. So if you send people into Chicago and New York, those guardsmen know damn well that when they are in those, they're not small places, but they are when you think about the whole United States, anyone can come in and surround. There's not enough of them to be able to cover everywhere to protect themselves. So when they go in there, they are actually putting themselves at risk of being surrounded by any of us that decide to go in and do something like that. They would be completely trapped. They know all of that. So the whole idea they're going to go in and they're going to just start taking over. No, they're not. They're not. And, they're trying to do a show of strength. They're trying to intimidate people. And if they can draw people into a fight, that's what they want to do. But I think a lot of people are smart enough to not do that, and we just have to keep pushing back the ways that we can. And ultimately, if it gets to the point where we have to fight, we'll fight, but they will lose. There's no way to fight off, like insurgencies lose. And these guys know this. This isn't what they signed up for. This isn't what they want to be doing. The National Guard that have been in DC, they've been feeding squirrels. They've been guarding buildings. They've been helping women take things down to their cars. They've been taking selfies with people. They've been standing around drinking coffee. There's nothing for them to do. So, I just want you to think about that, because I know people want to scream at them like, do something, which I don't know what you think they would do, or that they're the enemy because they're not doing it. They're just doing their job like what you do. And they don't want to be there, just like usually you go into your job, you don't want to be there either. So we need to be careful about how we want to talk about them. All your rage needs to be at ICE. It needs to be at police that are helping ICE. That's where all your focus and your rage needs to go to. If something changes, we'll deal with it then. But it would take a lot for something to change from these people that don't want to be there. Okay? So calm your nervous system. This is part of the process. And, we'll see where it goes, but there's no need to get yourself freaked out before there's something to actually deal with. There's no reason to panic. You just be aware of what's going on. You prepare your world, your life, for whatever may come the best that you can, and then that's it. You can't worry about all of that. You can't stress about it. You can't even be there to help them. And if something really went down and we all had to go, then that's what we do. Nothing they do changes the mission of what we have to do. Like right now, it's all of our focus has to be on ICE, has to be on local elections and showing up there and running for office. And our focus has to be on getting rid of our Democratic leaders that need to go, that have helped cause part of the problem. And then if it gets to the point where we have to go out and fight, when, then we go do that. But nothing that's going on should rattle you so badly that you're like, oh my God, it's still the same mission. It's still the same mission, no matter what.